Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working again on Stevo the Evo. There's a lot of content coming up and I'm sure you guys are going to be really excited with what I've got planned. But before I go doing any upgrades or exciting stuff, we're going to have to get some of the mundane tasks out of the way. Now, one of the jobs I have to do is to refit the outer CV boots on the rear drive shafts. If you remember, in an earlier video, they were rubbing on those coilovers. So I moved the brackets so they're not rubbing anymore, but the boots were damaged. So we're going to have to replace the boot, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do that. I do recommend you get the Mitsubishi kit. It comes with not just the boot, but it comes with everything you're going to need. It comes with all the clips, all the special greases inside and outside because they're different greases, circlip that holds on bearings, which you'll see later. So yeah, I really do recommend getting the genuine OEM kit. So if you are looking to get a genuine CV boot kit, like I'm going to use in today's video, check out rossport.com. Now then, let's whip off this axle, let's get this job out of the way, and then we can concentrate on some of the exciting things I've got planned. So I'm going to drain the oil out of my AYC and my diff reservoir. I'll be making videos on how to service this in the near future. Plus they're both due a service most likely, so I'll just do them anyway. So yeah, let's drain them. Now the way we do that, I got this little Allen bit which adapts to a socket, which then goes onto my ratchet. And I'm going to use my breaker bar to just break them nice and square. Now both of these are actually magnetic and you can see metal filings on there. Now that's actually really good. There's not a lot of metal on there. So either they've been done recently, which I don't think they have judging by the colour, or there's not a lot of shavings coming off my AYC clutches, which is a good thing. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. All cleaned up. Oops. Okay, so I just popped out this bolt here. So that arm's now been released from the hub and then also the shock. So we can actually rotate now the hub like this. And if I do that, you can see now the axle, you can't see it very well, but the axle, there's no force on it now. There we are. So we should be able to just pop the axle straight out. From what I've read on the actual diff side, it should just pop out as well with not much resistance. But although the Mitsubishi kit is expensive, that is one good thing about it, is the attention to detail in that kit. Now let me just show you a couple of things that you get. So it's not just the boot, you actually get a little bottle of wheel side grease. There's another bottle here, and this is the diff side grease, so there must be different viscosities for some reason. You get the clips. I think there's a spare clip. I don't exactly know what they're both for, but coming down here as well, this is where the main thing really is. We got spare clips. Now these are the clips. I believe one of them is what holds the diff into the hub, and they do take a beating when you take them in and out of the diff. So I think that's, you know, it's good attention to detail really with Mitsubishi parts, and that's why it's always good to get genuine if you can. Okay, so I've jumped a bit now, but I'll quickly explain what I've done. So this is the outer boot, which is the one I want to replace, and this is the inner boot, so the differential side. I've just popped off the two clips, and then the spline just slides off, no problem at all. And what we have to do is take off this little bearing carrier here, then this boot, and then slide the boot off all the way over, put the new boot back on down here, then this one back on, bearing back on, and that's how we got to do it. So you can't take it from that side, you've got to take all the inside out first. Now in the meantime, you might have noticed I've got a better camera, so the image quality on the channel now is hopefully going to be much better. And also I've had to get a circlip removal kit here. So I've got a few different ones. I'm going to see which one is the best for the job. So there's two little pinholes here on this circlip, and we basically got to stick these pliers in and get it out. So that's why I bought a kit, because it doesn't matter how many circlip pliers you've got, you never seem to have the right size. So 14 in there, finally got the right shape and the right size. So hopefully now we should be able to just pop this bearing carrier off, like so. Perfect. Now I can slide off the inner boot, which I've had to be very careful with because I'm not paying 75 quid for another boot kit. So now we're free to remove the outer boot. So I'm just going to give this a quick clean up, because in the kit we did actually get fresh grease. So I'm going to use shop towels to get as much of the old grease off as possible. So now's the time to fit the boot. So we're just going to put it over the spline. I'm going to slide it all the way down. Then we're going to put it in this general area. We're not clamping it down just yet, because we have to put the grease in. Now then, repeated the removal on this side as well. Put the boot on. Carrier back on. Then we put the new circlip on that comes with the kit. There we go. So there's two types of grease included in the kit. You have wheel side grease, which is not this one. That's diff side grease, and then the other is wheel side grease. So we're going to put the diff side grease in this boot, because this boot is used on the diff side. That's a lot of grease. And on this side of the boot there's a little ridge, so you can see where the rubber's supposed to stop. Now on this side, this is the side of the wheel, so wheel side grease. There we go, the boot just comes over. And the same on the other side, it sort of just snaps into place. Ow. Okay, so that's the axle done. New boots, new clips, new grease. We've cleaned it up with a wire brush, so it's as good as new. So all we have to do now, refit it back to the car and repeat on the other side. So let's go and fit the axle to the car.
Anal sometimes.
So that upper ball joint's now in. All we have to do, insert the shock and connect the arm back up there, and then we can put the big bolt in and jobs are good in. Well, actually we'll have to put the castle nut on and a new split pin. So 52 foot-pounds for both the upper ball joint and the lower bolt that goes through the suspension. Now then, you probably remember I had to take a split pin out of this, so we're going to have to reinsert it. But before we do that, got to torque the nut to 106 foot-pounds minimum, and then we've got to tighten it up until we can line up these grooves with the hole on the shaft. Sorted. So hopefully you found that video interesting, hopefully you learned something, or hopefully it was helpful to you if you're doing a similar job on your Evo. Really happy now to have got that job done. Now the only other mundane task I have to do on Evo is I got to replace those handbrake shoes. Ever since I fit those gyro discs, the handbrake hasn't been quite the same. It's still okay, but it's not quite as good as it needs to be. So yeah, that's something I really want to get done as well. Once I've done that job, I'm going to show you some of the exciting things I've got planned for Evo. I'm sure you're going to find it very interesting. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe, remember to click like, it really does help the channel. And I suppose I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.